best path forward. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
And comments? The honourable member for Vancouver Kingsway.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Well, I had the good fortune of sitting on the Health Committee as we studied this bill, and the New Democrats are in favour, broadly speaking, of legalization and want to work productively with the government to provide the best possible legislation that we can have in this country. But without any doubt, there are serious gaps and flaws in this legislation that for some reason this government does not want to address in their rush to have this legislation passed by an arbitrary date of July 1, 2018. For instance, one of the holes in this bill is it allows provinces to opt out of the home grow provisions. It allows them to opt out of the 30-gram possession limit, which means that, as we've already seen with Quebec, has indicated that they're not going to allow any home growing whatsoever. We're going to have a patchwork of marijuana regulations across this country. My honourable colleague talks about the need to rush this so that we get out of the hands of criminals, yet this government says the exact opposite when it comes to edibles, saying, no, we can't regulate on edibles because we're not ready for that. There's no provision to ensure small craft growers in this country will be licensed. The excise tax that this government has brought in and imposed on the provinces has created a huge uproar by the provinces because the provinces will have to bear the lion's share of the burden of enforcement and healthcare effects of this legislation, but this government is saying that they only want to give 50%. So my question to my honourable colleague is this: why the rush? Why not take an extra 3 months or 6 months, or even to July 1, 2019, where the government could keep its promise to legalize cannabis this term, but we can actually take the time to make sure we've got excellent cannabis legislation?
I just want to remind the member that there's only 5 minutes for questions and comments. So, and to all members, you should be able to draft your question or your comment within 1 minute. The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Madam Speaker, and just to be clear, there's been no rush. I mean, this has been a stated objective of this government since during the election. We've been speaking about it and debating about it thoughtfully, methodically, for over 2 years, Madam Speaker, and that debate has been informed by the work of the Honourable Anne McClellan, who chaired an independent task force with stripping it from any politics, although my honourable colleagues want to heckle. They have to take a look at that work and view it with objective eyes. And what those objective eyes will tell you is that much work has gone into it on the issue of personal cultivation, on the issue of decriminalized. We don't want to see our youth criminalized, Madam Speaker, not for small amounts of possession, when we know that it has dramatic impacts on their ability to get jobs, on their dramatic ability to travel abroad. And so what this bill attempts to do, informed by the independent task force, which was amply supported by 30,000 submissions from across the country, is to strike that balance, and it will do so. I encourage all members to vote this motion down. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Resuming debate.